Hello everyone, what's up? Prince1215 here with another update for Transformers Knights of Cybertron. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I thought it was time to get another one of these out. And yay, a bonus video day. It's because I already uploaded something earlier today, but I felt I needed to get this one out, so you get two today. Have fun with that. So yeah, production update on Knights of Cybertron. It's been 6 months since the last episode came out. It was that special Christmas release. Wasn't a Christmas episode, but it was a Christmas release. And yeah, so I just wanted to discuss where things are currently since it's been a minute. So right now, things are progressing well. I have filmed episodes 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. That sounds right. Yes. Right. Yeah. No, that's correct. So that's 5 episodes that are filmed. And currently I am in the middle of background production, which means I'm building all of the digital sets and exporting them so that way I can, when I film stuff on green screen, then the robots have, places to run around and blow up instead of just, green screen. So that is a very lengthy process, but I am making good progress on it. I am about 2/3 of the way through episode 14's backgrounds, yes. And then I'll move on to 15 and 16. 15 won't have too many, and 16 won't really either. Those episodes kind of take place in mainly just kind of one location. So the background generating for those episodes won't be great. The big one that's taking a while right now is episode 14. We're jumping around all over the place with that episode. We're in Mexico City. We're in Europe a little bit, I think. New Mexico. There's a big satellite farm that Decepticons try to blow up and stuff. So it's like, I'm not going to spoil things. I promise. These are just very slight, kind of giving you an idea of what I'm working on. So yeah, a lot of work has to be done with all of that. But like I said, I think it's progressing along nicely. And so yeah, just kind of, this is behind the scenes thing, production update, just to give you an idea of how things are going and my process on all of this stuff. Aside from general locations, like out in the world and stuff, I'm also expanding on some of the areas we've seen in prior episodes. For instance, you saw a little bit of the expansion in episode 11, is that we're going to see more of the interior of the Ark, which is a change from my original vision for when I started this, years ago now. Because originally when I started writing and thinking about how production was going to go and everything, my initial thought was, when I found the displays for the Ark, off of Toy Hacks, my kind of thought was like, okay, well, the Ark scenes will all be on this background. So all the stuff is done in camera. There won't be any visual effects work that needs to be done anytime they're inside the Ark. That'll make a huge difference. It's like those scenes will always be easy to do. And as I continued writing for the show, working on episodes 11 through 20, the idea of just sticking to that rule wasn't really working out. So I ended up breaking that rule for myself pretty early on in production, writing episode 11. So as you know, for those of you that have seen the episode, Brawl is in this storage room. They've kind of made it into a makeshift prison for him. I kind of thought that was like a cargo bay, like that was a cargo bay for the Ark, and so they've got these force fields there, so that way certain specialized cargo can remain stacked inside the force field. And then they're like, well, we kind of need a place to put Brawl, so that's where Brawl ended up going until he escaped. So there's going to be some other rooms of the Ark that you're going to end up seeing in these upcoming episodes. One of them is a redone medical bay, because we've technically seen in the script, we've seen the medical bay before, but it's really just been the bridge of the Ark with a brick built table in it, and I've never really been happy with that. it seemed very slapdash, and it's like it was one of those things that again, like I said, when I started, I was like, oh, it's gonna all the arc scenes are gonna be physical sets and no VFX work will be needed for those. But the medical bay is one thing that I've always not really liked, and so that's why it was easy for me to end up breaking that rule. It's like, okay, you know what? No, it's like the medical bay. Let's actually go full on and design a medical bay with a table and monitors and all this other stuff. Gizmos for Ratchet to mess with. So there's going to be a new and improved medical bay. You're going to see. There's going to be an armory for Hound to do stuff in, so that's going to be fun. There's another room that I'm not going to talk about because that's a little spoilery. So yeah, the arc's getting a nice revamp. The bridge will remain the same. The bridge and all that. The main room where everyone congregates, that's going to remain the same. It's all going to be in camera and stuff. So that stuff will remain true. But in terms of like the other rooms and hallways that they're walking around in, that I have, I'm adding on to. So, and I've generated a lot of those backgrounds and stuff, and yeah, I'm excited to see how that looks when it's fully edited. So that's fun. So another thing I wanted to do with these upcoming episodes is I've kind of teased this a little bit, is we're really going to branch out. The first season, in terms of locations, we're really going to branch out. The first season was really locked down to Tranquility in the area around the town. So it's like you have the kind of nearby mountain range where the Decepticons are hiding in their cave. You have the quarry where the Ark is buried. And then it's like you've got a bunch of random fields and stuff. And then it's like, you kind of get out of town a little bit, and then you find the Sector 7 base. And then we eventually, and in Mission City, you kind of see that a little bit in the first episode. And then it doesn't pop up again until the last couple. Because Sam goes there for his quote-unquote movie date, and then it gets blown up in episode 10. So that's really, my thinking on this though is where this is all located to one another is that the whole first season happens for the most part within like kind of a 50-mile radius. Like there's not a whole lot. They don't really leave a certain area, so all that stuff kind of happens in a very small contained area, and that was done purposeful when writing, because I wanted it to have that kind of smaller scale robots in disguise feel. It's like, they can't really go too far from their main base. And they're on this mission to collect all the escape pods and stuff. And so, those landed kind of close to the crash site. So of course they wouldn't really be going too far until, the lid gets blown off the whole secret at the end of episode 10, or that's right. At the end of episode 10, and there's the big battle in Mission City and everything. So going forward, I knew that after the first 10 episodes were very insular and located in a small area, that for the next 10 episodes, 11 through 20, I really wanted to branch out and go other places. So I've kind of teased this already. Like I said, it's like, the Mexico City's the location we're going to. New Mexico in the United States, we're going to that. We're kind of hip-hopping jumping all over Europe. We're hitting Paris. We're hitting Germany. Rome gets a mention, I'm pretty sure. So it's we're all over the map in Europe. There's other locations that get visited. So there's definitely going to be a wider array of locations, which I think will be good because it'll be a nice visually diverse season compared to the first, where it was mainly like we're fighting in a desert, we're fighting in a field, it's like we're and then finally we're fighting in a city. It's kind of like field desert, and then finally city. So for these next episodes, it's really going to branch out, and there's going to be different locations they're fighting in and everything. And I think that's gonna make the season much more visually distinct compared to this next several chapters coming up is going to be much more visually distinct compared to the first two chapters. So I keep saying season, like season 1, season 2, because that is how I originally wrote it. But so for production wise, I suppose that's still true. But in terms of episode release, it will be cut into chapters like before. So and just to also further clarify, just going into the background work and everything, and how that works with how I do all this. I've also changed up the the way I am generating these backgrounds. You've seen a little bit of this in episode 11 already, because episode 11's visual effects were done with this in mind. Is it is an interesting thing of just how long that this is a factor of just how long I've really actually been working on this project. Because when I first started work on it, I thought this would be a lot like Bionicle Reiterated, where I'd be done within like 3 years tops. And now it's been like 7 years since I first wrote it. It's been 5 years since the first episodes premiered nearly, because it was late December of 2020. So it's been a long time. This has taken a lot longer than I anticipated, but the scripts are much longer than Bionicle Reiterated. It is just inherently a bigger show, and so it's taking me longer because of that. But so one of the things I've kind of done to speed up that production a little bit, and through things that I've learned, is that I'm making these backgrounds a little differently than when I started. Because when I first started and I started generating these backgrounds and stuff, and you'll notice this looking at a lot of the early episodes, is a lot of the early stuff I really tried to make size to scale with the robots. This is even true up until episode 10, because I think the final product is gorgeous, but oh my gosh, the render time was insane. Like all those city shots and stuff, because like all those buildings and stuff were built because I actually had like a big block of like different size towers of Lego bricks physically in front of me, and then I would have like the different figures, like the Voyager Optimus or Deluxe Bumblebee or Starscream or whoever. I would have them there, and for the especially when generating the city stuff, and I'd look, okay, how tall does this building need to be to really make a Transformer look good next to it? And so I'd measure. It's like, okay, well, this figure is so many bricks high. So in designing this building for the city scene, I need to really make sure it goes so many bricks higher, and etc. So that became very taxing on my computer very quickly, because the program was trying to render like thousands of parts and render that in a realistic fashion. And when I was first trying to render those, like it was like the render was failing, like it was too complex, it wasn't working. So then I started like deleting entire parts of the city that weren't in frame. And just having in frame and just keeping what I needed in frame. And even then, it would take like 45 minutes to an hour to generate one of those backgrounds. So like the summer of 2020, I was like going back and forth of, writing episodes 11 through 20 while also generating backgrounds on a separate computer and everything. And so like depending on the shot, it's like, oh, it's been 45 minutes. That shot's done. All right, move the camera ever so slightly, make sure everything's there. Okay, and render, start over, go back to writing. So that's kind of, it was ridiculous. So now, moving forward to now, present day, that's not how I'm building backgrounds anymore. It's much more of a micro scale build than before. And I think it's working out, and it's going to look good. There are certain things that I'm still building size to scale for, like certain close-ups and stuff. But a lot of the backgrounds now are built more at a micro scale, and I think it's just making it so much easier to make these backgrounds. And I think they still look good. I think when you see it, and you'll have seen some of them as some of these backgrounds as I've been working, or as I've been talking here, and you can see them going by. And I think the backgrounds still look good. I think the robots are going to look good next to them and everything. Because it's strangely, funnily enough, going micro scale is actually, to a degree, allows me to sell the illusion more that these robots are running around in this location than the really super intricate and detailed size to scale backgrounds, which is funny. Because because as good as I think those city scenes turned out in episode 10, I feel like they were at times a little visually busy, because you can see like every single stud on the ground and everything on the base plates and everything, and so you could see all that stuff. And sometimes I feel like some of those shots did get a little busy and you weren't focusing on the robots enough. But now I think you can focus on the robots a little bit more, and I think you can see some of that with it's because some of these backgrounds are already used in episode 11, like Andrews Air Force Base and everything. Like they weren't as detailed and built as size to scale as before. It was using more of the microscale method. I think those backgrounds turned out great. That turned out fine. The Bridge of the Nemesis, that's another one that wasn't built size to scale. That was built more of just, I built it to make it look good and look like, with computer panels and stuff. And then I just put Shockwave and Megatron in there, and I think it turned out great. It's believable. So yeah, that's where we are with the backgrounds and what I'm currently working on right now. So when that's done, then I'm really going to start editing the episodes. Because right now the voice actors are delivering their lines for episodes 12 through 15. So those are the ones that I'm getting lines for right now. So I've heard some of what they're doing. It all sounds great. So when I get all of those, then of course I'll start putting together the episodes, and yeah. So right now my hope is that the episodes will start rolling out monthly again, at least for 12 through 15. You'll start getting those in the fall. Now, when in the fall, I'm not gonna narrow down a firm time frame just yet. I am gonna keep that a little vague and just say fall. I think that's having some wiggle room is best there. So that way, if like a voice actor falls behind because they've got personal stuff going on and they need a little bit more time, then I can work on some other parts of like other episodes. And so like, for instance, if let's say that one of the voice actors is like, well, I'm going to be delayed in getting you stuff for episode 13. It's like, okay, well, I'll make sure that 12 and 14 and 15 are as close to finished or done as needed. And then those will be ready to go, and then when you get me the lines for 13, then I'll finish up 13, and then we'll be ready to go. So it's like, so that's kind of my method right now, is working with what I have and not necessarily completely doing every single thing in order. So once I get all those voice lines, obviously I'm going to start editing those episodes as soon as the backgrounds are done. And like I said, I'm moving forward on backgrounds at a pretty good clip. So, and then once I get the backgrounds done, get those episodes edited and stuff, then I will be resuming filming going forward again as well soon. So get 17 through 20 done. And I will tease that one of the things that I've got that's going to be a change going forward is that for episode 17 onward, the Optimus is going to change his design ever so slightly. He's now going to be the new Studio Series Leader Class Age of Extinction Prime figure that just came out this year. I think that's a good. I haven't reviewed him yet, but that is going to be something that's going to be dropping on my channel in the next couple weeks. But I think that's a good upgrade for this design, for this figure, and I think it's going to be great for the series. He's going to look good. He's going to move good. Because as much as I like the Last Knight Voyager Prime, and that's part of the reason I've used him as long as I have. I mean, he's for that design and for the being a Voyager figure, I think they did a great job with him. The base paint job just was never good, which is why I gave him Toy Hacks Repro label stickers. And I've had them on there for so long that the sticky's kind of worn off on a lot of them. So like, it's like every shot I have to like keep pressing down and reapplying the stickers to make him look good. So that's another reason why I wanted to upgrade with this new Leader Class Prime. So it's like I won't have to bother with that, which is also going to speed up filming, because every time Optimus is in a scene, I'm like, it's like if you're filming a live action thing, like the makeup department has to constantly come and retouch up someone's makeup. It's like in between like every shot. So it's a little annoying. So yeah, so I am pleased to have the new Leader Class Prime. That's going to be a great asset going forward. That's kind of where things are right now. So I've kind of rambled on for 20 minutes, but hopefully you guys enjoy the update and are looking forward to the new episodes. So again, apologies that they have taken so long, but this is a big project. Hopefully the final product of these episodes will be worth it, because I have to say, and I've told this to my voice cast, and I think they agree with me with given the quality of work that they're turning in for the voice lines, is I think these episodes are really strong writing wise. It's like there's certain things that I kind of look back in the first 10 episodes and I go, it's like this, the writing I think is definitely the strongest thing in the first 10 episodes, but even then there's a couple episodes where I go, yeah, that episode overall is just kind of a little meh, but it was necessary because I had to set up stuff like, Deadlock, his eventual shift, changing sides to the Autobots and everything. So there was some stuff that really just I had to really build that stuff up. So episodes weren't always as exciting and got a little repetitive. And, it was the whole, we got to find the escape pod MacGuffin, which was a easy formula to follow for the initial setup. But going forward, these episodes, like each episode going forward, really is kind of different and unique to one another. There's different problems coming up in different episodes. Obviously, the Decepticons are moving worldwide. Like I said, we're getting new locations. We're going to Europe. We're going to Central America. It's like we're kind of going all over the place. So different locations means different plots, and so it's like there's a lot of new and unique things coming up in each episode that I'm really, really pleased with. And I think that's going to make each episode really stand on its own and not go, oh, well, yep, there they go after another escape pod. It's like, it really is like, oh, no, that episode was so different from the last one, and then the next one is going to have a completely different issue at hand than the first one. It's like, oh, this one's almost kind of Western inspired, just a bit. And it's like, oh, but then this one's like a Fast and Furious movie. It's like, it's got a lot of car chases in it and stuff. So it's like very, very unique and different things going on in each episode going forward. And I'm very, very pleased with that. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. So yeah, just hang in there. Hopefully just a couple more months and we'll start rolling out episodes again in the fall. So obviously there will probably be another one of these updates and a full trailer out when it comes time to do that stuff. And I hope you guys enjoyed episode 11. I do feel bad that it's been this long since 11 came out, and there's been no follow-up since then. But 11 was done, and it had been a year since episode 10, and I knew that it was going to be another length of time after, even though 11 was done and sitting on my hard drive, I knew there was going to be another length of time for all the work I had to put into the other episodes. So that's why I released it when I did, kind of as a little Christmas treat. So, but it was also 40 minutes long, which is bonkers. I didn't even think, it's like, I was actually heavily considering splitting that one in two because it was so long, but I couldn't really find a really actually good place to cut it. If I had cut that in two, it would have been after the Decepticons destroy Sector 7. But then that would have thrown off my whole episode number ordering and stuff. And so it works as a 40-minute episode, I think. So and another thing that's going to help going forward as well is that not every episode is that long, because it's like that was meant to be a premiere episode, a season premiere, the start. It's like we're setting up a lot of story arcs going forward. Like we introduced Carly as a new main character. She's got a lot of stuff to do in these upcoming episodes. It's like reestablishing old dynamics, establishing new dynamics, introducing General Samson. The president's thrown in there. Sector 7's blown up, so what does that mean for the Autobots getting assistance? It's how does all this stuff going to play together? The Decepticons they don't have to hide anymore, so how does that change how they fight, etc. So it's like episode 11 had to really set up a lot of that stuff, which is why it was so long. But going forward, 12, 13, 14, 15, like these episodes are not going to be as long. So I think that's also why when I actually get down to editing them and everything, get these backgrounds done, the editing is not going to take anywhere near as long, and I'm going to be able to get these out quicker. But the beginning of a 10 episode chunk and the end of a 10 episode chunk, those were always longer episodes because those were originally written and envisioned as big season premieres / finales. So yeah. But I think that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about today. I rambled on for like another 5 minutes longer than I thought I was going to there. But so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the update. So hang in there. New episodes will be coming out soon, TM, and I'm still trucking along and working on them. So thanks for hanging in there, and I'll hopefully be back to talk to you guys soon again with another big production update. So thanks for watching the episodes, and thanks for watching this and for being fans. I really, really appreciate it, and the cast does too, I'm very sure. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.